Good morning, go-getters. How are you doing? I am going to talk to you today about how to grow your online following in a really easy way that I discovered many years ago as I was starting my own blog, sitting in my house, actually my apartment back then, all by myself, just trying to figure all this stuff out. Now, that's been 15 years ago now. Hard to believe it, but the truth is that experience of like just understanding that what I had to give was all about what I had to give rather than what other people had to give was really attracted me to this method. So this method I want to teach you today is really about how you too can quickly grow a group of people that are true fans to you, meaning that not only do they know, like, and trust you, that they're willing to listen to you and they have that kind of a relationship with you. And it's really friendship in a lot of ways, but let me explain how it works. So, I call it my 2 by 2 method. I've been doing this for years and years, like I said, and really, what it requires is very little, but it is consistency, and that is going out every day and finding 2 people that you can connect with, and also putting out 2 pieces of content that are engaging, not so much just an announcement. So we all tend to, including me, put out a lot of announcements. So we rarely ask people to engage with us. And as that goes on, it gets harder and harder to get people to come back to you and respond. So anyway, that is what I want to teach you today. It's called the 2 by 2 method. And I'm going to pull up my little screen here. Hold on a second. But while I'm doing that, make sure if you're here that you tell me you're here, so I know you are. Say hi, at least in the comments. Say, "Hey, Kami, I'm here," so I know you're here. And in the meanwhile, I'm going to pull up my little screen for you. Hold on a second. We'll get there in just a second. I am screen sharing. There we go. All right. So I just want to show you this. This is the worksheet that I have or I've put together. And my team and I have worked on this, putting this together, that goes step by step through how to do this process. And so what I'd like to do today is kind of go over each of these things really briefly, but don't worry because I have this for you. It's free. You can just go to the link that's in the description of this live stream and you just click on that and you can just get this for free. So I just wanted to have it here though to show you what we've done. So let me do a view. Let me see if I can get this a little bit bigger so you can see it. Yes. 200. Awesome. I'll do that. Okay. So let me kind of move that over so you can really, really see it. Okay. So this is the 2 by 2. And really the number one thing you have to do is identify who you want to reach. So especially if you're building social media for business, that's really what I'm focusing on here, but you can do it also for personal brand building. But the bottom line is, hey guys, so I see some people coming in, Amy and Susan, hi, and Walter. Hey, Walter, how are you? So you really want to have an ideal community member in mind who, if you're going to build your perfect community online, who's in it? Amy's good at this because she's got an amazing community, of networking community for women. So but who are the people that are the best people for that kind of a community? Because they're not all made the same, are they now? Amy can attest to it. You want to have people that are really interested in the same things, because the more your community is cohesive with each other, the more it's going to grow. Meaning, if they're too far apart from each other and what their interests are and so forth, they're not going to be growing as a community. When you want to have a community growing, it needs to be not homogeneous. I think you should have different ideas and thoughts and different areas, but they have to have the same problem generally. Whatever that problem is, might be finding more people that are like them and so forth. But that's definitely really important. So how do you get that in mind? So what I do is I sit down and I start to think about who is the perfect kind of people that I want in my community. And the truth is that you'll attract more than that specific kind, but it helps you to get focused around who you want to reach out to. So that's step one, is just really defining that person or those people and that group. And as you define that, then you want to do the second step, which is to build a list of about 10 people. So I've got some of my team is in here right now. I can see them. So then we do pick 10. So when you pick 10 people that you really would like to reach out to, so those would be your dream people, the people that you really want to have be a part of your community. It could be, Usually don't go for celebrities because those aren't going to really join your community. Think about people that are like your perfect client or your perfect, maybe it is one of your clients that you want to be a part of your community. And when I say community, I'm talking about this very loosely, like people that gather and connect with each other online, usually around a specific thing. So you can either be a private Facebook community, or you can have a Twitter chat like my friend Madeline does, or you can do a like what I'm doing here, have a live stream that goes live every week at the same time. By the way, this is going to be the time forever, Thursday 8:15. So put it on your calendar, and you would have a community that grows around that over time. So pick your 10, and then you're going to start your connecting. So using the 2x2, and the 2x2 goes like this. You'll start 2 conversations and send 2 replies or comments every day. And what that really means is that conversations are the ones that you start. Like a post would be one, but more of a questioning post, like asking people their opinions or something of their interest, and trying to engage people, not just putting out some sort of announcement, but just engaging. Hi, Muddler, mediocre Muddler on Twitter. That's an interesting name. So anyway, that's what you're going to do. And so let me kind of go over here too and see, but those posts need to be things like a poll on Instagram, or here on Facebook you can do really cool polls, or a question that you have people engage with you on. So you want to start doing those every day, in the channels of your choice. And I usually say start with one channel, because this, it's an easy thing to do, but it is time consuming in some ways. So you want to make sure you're kind of there. Then the next thing that you want to do is hold on a second. I'm just checking over here in LinkedIn too, because I'm sure there's somebody there. Let's see here. I am sorry. Okay. So then once you do that, then you're going to start connecting with those people too. So you're going to connect with those 10 people, and you're going to be going to their posts, to their pages, that you're going to comment where they are. You're going to share their materials with a little bit of a comment from you. You're going to let them know that you're actually paying attention to them. And then you're going to do this week after week. So I would take the same 10 people for a couple of weeks and just rotate through them. You want to have that connection made so that you start to so it starts to grow. The cool thing about all this is that it's exponential. As you go on, you have X number of people the first week. You're going to say if you're doing 4, even if you only do 5 times a week, 4 times 5 is 20 people that you have now connected with during that week. You've done your outreach ones, and you've done your you also have done your intake ones, where you try to get people to interact with you. So you're going to start to grow your community a lot faster if you just do this every single day. So I've got worksheets, a bunch of stuff on this on how to do it. But the bottom line is the simple plan, and it yields huge results. Huge results. And the cool thing is that once you start getting people into your community and they're paying attention to you, what happens is they start to share with their friends. They start to share all of this information with their friends, and they bring their friends into your community. So it grows in an exponential way over time, I would say. So there it was. So hey, Travis, how are you doing? Okay. Yep. Got it. No worries. Anyway, so we are absolutely using this in our business, and we have for years. I've built numbers of communities around this idea. Also, you can take it even to the next level as you get to have people that are in your community and very connected. I told you they'll share with their friends, but you can also ask them for recommendations of people that would be good for your community. So I think community is the basis of what really works in social media. I feel like we work too hard at marketing in social media and not as hard at building our communities in social media. And I would love to hear from you guys and tell me what you think. I know Amy is on the bandwagon here. I'm so glad you're hearing me because this is totally for you. But the bottom line is, how do you grow it? You grow it 2 by 2. You grow it by word of mouth. And that is the strongest connection that you can get because those connections will stick with you. Kevin Kelly, who is the founding editor of Wired Magazine, he talked about 1,000 true fans. And 1,000 true fans are those people that will support all the things that you do. And if you just have 1,000 of those, which sounds like a lot to a certain degree, but it's not that much. It's not tens of thousands. I think some people, we feel like we have to have tens of thousands of followers on different social media networks. And the truth is, we really don't. I like the idea of going small to go big, really go small to go big, because if you have 1,000 people that are your true fans that help you promote the stuff that you do, that say, hey, you must do this, that are willing to, let's say, pay you $200 a year each because they're willing to do your programs or your services or buy your stuff or whatever, that's $200,000. 1,000 true fans times $200 a year is $200,000 a year. And for most people, I dare to say that's a fairly good living. I know not all of us want to just have a $200,000 company. I mean, some people have bigger dreams, but the truth is you don't start with like that unless you have a core of people that love your products. And that's something I've heard too from a lot of entrepreneurs that talk about. We spend too much time trying to get new products and new clients and new people rather than to grow the ones that we have, because everybody knows that current clients are more profitable, honestly, than new clients. It takes new clients a while to see if they like you, to see if they like what you're doing, and then they grow from there. But I will tell you that most of my business is repeat business. I don't know about you. But most of my business is repeat business. And, I don't even have 1,000 customers. I mean, we have 5 or 6 in our company because they pay a lot of money to work with us. And so, if I can sell them more services and make them happier and serve them better, then why not go smaller to go big, right? So I really, really like this idea of the 2 by 2. You grow your community in a sustainable way, in a way that's possible for you. And as it gets bigger and bigger, you have the help of those people to grow it for you. You have their word of mouth recommendations that come back to you. You have all of the things that are necessary to make your company actually grow. And I've grown a very good 6-figure business doing this. And I know, some people might say, you're not that great at this or that. And I don't care, because the truth is we've made this work in this way. And so I just would say, don't get into the hype of having to be this big, huge, bunch of followers that are coming after you. You don't need to be a guru or a big shot or anything like that. You need to have 1,000 true fans. And that really was what I'm aiming for. So one of my goals, and I actually started my new online training course, which I've been wanting to do for years, but we launched it and we actually have our first group of students taking it right now. Very exciting. So we've been doing that for the last month or so. And what's been great about that is that I've really been able to see in real time how other people are struggling with the same thing that I have. So it's really been fun to work with this group of students that are amazing and that they are totally bought into growing their business during this time, which is a tough time. I mean, let's just face it. There's so many people that are losing their jobs and so forth. And right now, people are looking for new ideas and new ways to do business, new ways to even start their own business, to start their dream that they've had, but they've been too scared to start it. This is going to be the birth of a lot of awesome companies, I think, during this time. And I think this 2 by 2 method is much more sustainable and possible than trying to say, hey, I need to get 10,000 followers on Instagram so I can swipe up. But what is going to make people swipe up for you? That's my question. Just having the swipe up, which means on Instagram, for those of you who don't know, since we're not on Instagram here, that means if you have 10,000 followers on Instagram, in your stories, you can add a link, an outside link out of Instagram, and people can swipe up and go to your whatever thing it is. But the bottom line is I can buy an ad to get that if I need it. I need people that actually care about what I'm doing, and I care about what they're doing. It's a two-way street, right? So I care about their businesses, and then they in turn, promote mine. And most of my business in all of my years has come through word of mouth. I haven't spent a lot of money on advertising. I mean, I do some now as a part of this new course that I've put on. I know that I need to widen my circle a bit, but the truth is that I really care about this, like what we're doing here today, like just you know talking to you and talking back to each other. I feel like if we can talk to each other here, we're doing so much better if we can have this conversation. So I just feel like that's more genuine. It's more authentic. And so, yeah, I realize I'm talking to my screen and I only see your comments, but the truth is that I know the people here on the right that are commenting to me. I know you personally for the most part. And so that to me is really, really powerful. That's an important thing for me is that I understand you and that you understand who I am. And I see Tracy Besser. She's actually on LinkedIn. She's an amazing UX designer. I see Travis Crabtree, who is an amazing lawyer who's put together some awesome online properties like Swift filings where you can go quickly put together your LLC. Like right now, gosh, I don't know if there wasn't an opportunity for that right now, Travis. I don't know when there ever was. I'm also going to be using your trademark engine product. He also has that too, where I can go get things trademarked through his online business. So I just feel like, having those relationships is so important. Hi, Barbara. How are you? And Barbara's here too. So great PR person. Anyway, so we've just got all of these people that know each other and can kind of start to understand each other and like each other. And the community is about the other people in the community too. So there's also a vertical part of this too. So not only am I having a relationship one-on-one with my 1,000 fans, but also they have relationships with each other. And that's definitely what's happened with Social Media Breakfast of Houston. I've been running that for 11 years and we still are going strong. We're doing it virtually. We do it on the second Friday of every month. So if you guys want to join in, that's great. We meet then. And I think that, the reason why that's been successful has like almost nothing to do with me, except for that I keep it going in the sense of putting it on, but that people understand that it's not really about me. It's about each other and them. And I think that that's what builds community around a brand. The idea that people care about each other inside of that same community and that they can see each other for support and ideas and relationships. So I think that idea of community, and especially right now, is so important because we're all kind of in our houses, starting to go back to work, not sure where we should go. We have to have the support of other people and have those true relationships to really make this work, right? So yeah, exactly, Walter. It's totally foundational, right? It's foundational. That's what Walter says, that relationships are the foundation, and they totally are. And there's Roland. Hi, Roland. How are you? And Roland is actually helping small business owners to make sure that they're recession proof. Wow. What a thing for right now. So when I look out on there and I see the community here, and Dagner too. Hey, how are you doing? I just feel like, you have a relationship with these people. And that's really important to me anyway. I don't want to be on top of a business where I'm just like trying to count numbers and try to it's not about the money and never was for me. It really all is about the impact and how can I help people and how can we make them better and how can we make them have it. Of course, you have to make enough money to live, but beyond that, I just feel like the money is it's a distraction. It should be a byproduct, maybe is a better way to put it. It should be a byproduct of this kind of branded community. That's what I think. I really feel that. Hey, Jennifer, how are you doing? And Jennifer is my editor. Jennifer Good Stevens is here too. Hey, she's my editor. So yeah, I just feel like that's really where I'm at. So I don't know. What do you guys think? I'd love to know. Yeah, Walter says he totally agrees. I'm glad. And Travis says, thanks for the love. It's good. Yep. Yep. Great advice, says Walter. Yeah. What do you guys think? How are you building your communities right now? Where are you struggling to build a community? I'd love to just have a conversation and talk about that if anybody's willing to ask a question. But I really feel like that's a lot of people struggle around this idea because, the biggest question I get is, where do I find people to follow me? How do I find people that are going to follow me? How do I get people engaged? It's probably the second one once you start getting a community going. So yeah, same way with the money. Walter says, build the relationships. Absolutely. But that is the biggest question I get is like, how do I get people to follow me? And I think you don't really get people to follow you. You inspire them to follow you. And to inspire them to follow you, they have to realize that you actually care about them. Um, and maybe not them individually at first because you don't really know what they do. Like some of you here, I don't know what you do. I'd like to know. It would be awesome if you told me. Actually, if anybody wants to put in the comments what they do, like I talk about my I help statement. I help entrepreneurs to find, grow, and attract their online community and grow their business using their online community, using social media. That's what I do. What do you do? I would love to know. Tell me what your I help. Who do you help, and what do you help them do? That would be awesome to hear from everybody here. And yeah, you do have to go out of your comfort zone, Walter. Absolutely, because that's the thing. I think we worry too much about what people think about us or how we're going to come off. I think that's part of it too. And also, it's just this thing, like once you start doing something, it becomes so much easier. Even the course that I wanted to start, which is Smart Social Secrets. I hesitated to start that course for a long time, partly because I usually help medium to large size businesses run their social media. That's what we do. My team does that with me, and that's what we do. So I felt like I love the small business owners. I am a small business owner, woman-owned small business in the house, and I wanted to help other people like me all the time. And they were always many of people would call me or send me notes, or friends and want to pick my brain about certain things. And I realized that I have this knowledge and stuff, and that I would like to share, but I didn't know exactly how to do it. And like you, maybe I thought there are so many courses out there already people doing this stuff. How am I going to make that different? Who am I to do this anyway? All of those things. But the bottom line is, I have something that is different than somebody else, and you do too. I mean, you might come out and do your own social media course. I don't know, but the bottom line is your course will be very different than my course. So I'm just here to help the people that I'm here to help. So the people who join my course, I just buckle down, and you can ask my team. I sat them down and said, these are the people that we are called to help for the next 60, days or so. It was like 6 weeks actually, so not quite 60 days. But these are the people that we are called to help. Like, we are here for these people. I want you all to be on 100% right here for these people. That's 35 people or so. So we are going to be on deck for these people the same way we would be for our biggest clients. That's what we're doing during this time. And so we did. So we're just serving. That's what we're doing. We're serving, and we're going to serve them all out as much as we can. And yeah, I mean, we can't do it for them because it's a done with you, not a done for you, but we're definitely answering every question that they have. We're in every single conversation that we can get into, and we're helping them any way we can to get their social media strategy put together and ready to go. So that's the best you can do, I think, for your whatever you do. Is that the people that are in front of you, that you serve them with all of your might. And then those people become the people that will recommend you to other people. Does that make sense? Okay, let me see what you guys have to say. Okay, we got a couple things. Okay, so, oh, wow, you guys are awesome. I'm going to read all these. So, hey, Jean-Francois, hey, how are you doing? He's got an amazing winery in France, and oh my gosh, great guy. How do you target the urban bohemian community? That's a really good question. Are anybody in here bohemians? I'm not. So I would say that, they're all about experiences. If I had to guess, that's absolutely what I think that I think. So people that are, wine, I call them wine snobs. I've got a good friend who's a sommelier, and they are really all about great food and great experiences and that kind of stuff. And right now that's hard, right? Because to go to a restaurant and feel super comfortable. There's people going back to restaurants, but it's hard to feel, I think, super comfortable right now. So it's going to take a little doing. So how can you create those kind of experiences for them? And I've seen you guys doing some of that too, Jean-Francois. I've seen you doing like these, like having a chef come and share some information, and you guys are doing a good job with that. You could probably do this 2x2 method though, to grow an audience that actually like is connected to what you're doing. So that might be one way. Jennifer, I'm a little afraid to make the commitment to building a community because I fear I won't have the capacity to capacity to maintain it. Also not sure what an editing community would look like. Ooh, but it would be so cool. Anyway, you can also join other communities, Jennifer. I'm actually a part of a community that you should look into, that my friend Kirsten Oliphant, who I mentioned in the comment above, she is doing a summit right now for authors, for fiction authors. And it is a online summit free, and it's really for people who want to be an author. So you probably should join that community and just observe for a while. So you'd be good at observing there, and you'd be really helpful in that community, I think. So remind me, send me a DM, and I'll make sure I send you all the information on that. Roland, how do you get a bigger audience reach outside of your timeline and friends? Okay, so yeah, that's really the process I was telling you about, Roland. If you missed it, that's fine, but you would create a list of about 10. I actually call it the influence 20 in my group. So eventually you're going to want to have a bigger list. I have a bigger process for this, but for this process, which you can get you can download it above we've got a really great, what do you call it? Anyway, we've got a really great thing that you can download and fill it all out. So that is how you get a bigger audience, is you put together a list of people that you really want to reach. Like, who is it that you want to reach? Is there small businesses that you do want to talk to on a regular basis? And then you reach out to them. And I've got the 2x2 process. So it goes beyond your timeline, because it goes out beyond that. So you can be aspirational about these things. And then you can ask them to invite their friends. And that becomes really, really good. So it is a multiplier. You have to think about it like that. First 2 and then 2x2. It's kind of like the arc, I'm just putting that out there. They got them all in there 2x2, right? I can talk more about that later, but that's probably it. I mean, it's really very much a manual process in some ways, but then you grow the relationships that will make that happen. And your goal is just that 1,000 true fans. So, grow that list of yours, and that is going to help you get to that point. And you're already helping, 16 to 30 people a week. He has a weekly, a group that he's having meet, and he's talking about how they can work on their businesses and recession proof them. And it's a really cool thing. And he's doing it all via Zoom at the moment. And I think that just grows over time. And you have to continuously go out and find new people for that. Let's see, Walter. This sounds like a primer for relationships and real community. Thank you, Barbara. Yeah. And I mean, that's really the deal. I mean, it's really about relationships. And Barbara, I'm a public relations person, right? And we were taught the power of the two-way conversation, conversation. And that was always challenging, especially when there was no technology, because I am from the time before the internet, or right at the birth of the internet, let's say. And, one of the things that attracted me to social media to begin was that I really saw the possibility for scaling that, for having that two-way conversation, because you can only have lunch with so many people. You only can have masterminds with so many people. You can't have, there's a limit, right? There's a limit on your time. And so how do you multiply that? How do you talk to multiple people like we're doing here today? How do you do that? Well, you have a relationship with people so that when they see your stuff pop up, they know it's going to be something they probably want to come to, because it will have some interesting points to it. So you want to start getting that reputation. And the only way to get the reputation is to get out there and actually talk to people. And that's really the hard part. And I know a lot of people resist it, and they would rather send out emails or an advertisement or anything besides actually talking to somebody. And that's really a fear, I know, that comes in a lot. But once you start doing it, you're going to find out so many things. Like you find out where people are struggling. You find people where people are having problems, and you can see where you can help them. But you can't know that unless you start talking to them first, right? Okay. So Walter, So Walter says he never imagined that the Zoom show was going to be so well received as it has been. Having guests like you on there has made it good as it. Thank you. So Walter has a really great weekly Zoom show. And he, has all of these different people, and he really is catering to the market of people that make all the little swag for conferences and your signs and things like that. So he actually caters to that industry. That's very niche. So see, he's defined his ICM. He probably should also be defining people like PR, people like me, because that would be his client. But we could talk about that more. But that would probably be where I would go a little bit with your stuff, Walter. But the bottom line is that you define your audience and then you serve them, right? And then they're really grateful for that service. And then you have things that you offer, and they say, hey, can you do this for me? Or can you do that for me? And then you're like, yeah, I'd love to do that. And then you're working with people that you actually like. I think it's really important. That's just, we all have to make a living again. So Travis says, we have 3,500 Facebook followers and try to ask questions to get one new business person to provide thoughts or guidance for other customers as part of our community. But whenever we do that, we get crickets. We will usually do that after posting what we think is a short, helpful article from our blog or another resources. Okay, so you ask questions or get one new business person to provide thoughts or guidance as part of a community. But whenever we do that, okay. So are you only just sticking it up on Facebook, or are you also letting people know you're doing that in email? So one of the things I found, if you have an email list, is you can also drive people back to your social media. And I know that sounds weird, but people do it. And I think it's really powerful because it kind of brings you back in a full circle. So do you have, you have a community there, but is it just people that once got an LLC from you and now are done with that? So they've moved on to the next thing. So that's the other thing about it depends on what your service is too. So is your service something that they're going to need over and over and over again, or do you get a fan and then they move on? So I'd have to go a little deeper with you on that, Travis, but I have some ideas for that. Maybe you need to start building, and I know you've talked about this and you know that you need to do this, more of your influencer group, the people that influence other small business owners. That's the group I would probably focus on for you because it brings in new customers, which are, if I need my LLC, once I've applied for it, I don't know why I'd come back to your page. So let me know why. And we'll go with that. Relate to that. My husband, who's a comms director for the city mayor, says he gets social media branding pitches all the time. I told him, sure, but Kami's, blah, 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 blah. I can't read this now suddenly because I did this. Okay. I said, sure, but Kami's target is different than for this course. I think it's great. Okay. Yeah. So she was talking about my course. You're saying that he gets social media branding pitches, meaning we'll help you with your social media, right? And yes, my target audience is different for this course. However, I've taught social media to professionals for years. Public Relations Society America has had me as a trainer and many other times. So I didn't start this course with no background. Plus, part of what makes it different is that we actually are doing what we're teaching. So we're not just teaching things and then, it's just sort of like this idea that we had, wouldn't it be great if we're teaching a course about teaching, social media? No, we're actually serving clients, like huge clients with big pages, and working on this every single day to grow their followings, to find new content, to struggle with the algorithm on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, all of them. And so we're doing that day to day, me and my team. And when we bring a course, I'm bringing all that knowledge. Plus I bring my team. So it's not just me that's in there. It's me and my team. So it's a very different, it's a different value proposition, I would say, than the average, just, come learn how to do XYZ. Social media thing. And also we're not saying, hey, come learn how to be great at Instagram or great at Twitter or great at Facebook or great. No, we're teaching social media strategy, which is different than teaching how to be great at one social media platform. And then I'm bringing in experts into my course, including Madeline and many others that are teaching a masterclass on Instagram and a masterclass on Twitter and a masterclass on LinkedIn and a masterclass on Facebook. And that's how we're running the course. It's very different than the average course. It's not like a one-time, webinar. It's just not that. So, um, Barbara, I help people solve problems concerning real estate. Okay, so real estate. So yeah, so tell me about that on the real estate side. That's interesting. What kind of problems on real estate? There's a lot of problems with real estate. What do you mean? Um, so yeah, getting real clear about what you do too is really important too, because then I can recommend you. Just like I went down the list, I was able to, on some of you, I was able to say, here's what you do. And I know what you do because blah, blah, blah. That's what you want. You want people to know what you do so that they can recommend you whenever it's needed. So if somebody needs done for you social media services and they're a large brand, we're the people to come to. If you need us to run an influencer program, we are also the people to come to. You don't know that necessarily because we run Texas Travel Talk, and I've done influencer branding for years. And then now we also have this course for people that are for entrepreneurs, businesses, and really communicators that are looking to up their game in social media. So you got to be clear about what you do. Me too. So I'm working on that too, as everybody is. So there you go. Should I sell now? Is it a good market? Oh, okay. Yeah. So should I sell now? Is it a good market? Yeah. That is a good question. And right now, I don't know if it is. Guess it depends on where you're at. Right. So I think that's really important. So you could put out all kinds of tips, Barbara, on that. I'm sure you do. Helping people like evaluate. Do you have a tool that people can use to evaluate? Like, should I sell now or should I not? A little lead magnet along that front would be really useful for you, I think, where people could download it and then you could communicate with them over time. Email still really does count, guys, and so does your website. All of these things work together. This is all marketing, right? So social media is part of the ecosystem, but the whole ecosystem, it includes your email, your website. I call it your hive, is your place where you hold everything, which is your website generally, is your hive. And then all of these things like social media, email, these are all outposts that bring people into the hive over time so that they will buy, and that becomes a big part of it, and you want people to joyfully buy from you. You're not trying to trick them into buying from you. You want them to want to work with you. And that's really the key. And the only way you can get that is relationships. I really do believe that. So anyway, the 2x2 will help you. I promise. Everybody who's used it usually calls me back within the first, or, DMs me or whatever within the first week or two. If you actually do it and they say, I can't believe it. Oh my gosh, this happened and this happened and this happened. So I challenge you to go download the 2x2 and just do it for a week and then let me know what happens. I just want to hear from you. I want to know. So that's pretty much it. We're out of time. I just am checking the time there. I am so glad you guys showed up today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I know you have many things to do and you could spend your time many other places. So I appreciate you coming and talking to me today. Awesome. So I will talk to you guys next Thursday. I'll be back next week with another one of these. And let me know if you have any needs or whatever. Just DM me. I'm right in the DMs and any of the platforms you're watching me on right now. Would love, love, love to talk to you. So talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.